Michael is the new Michael Jackson biopic, going from his early days of the Jackson 5 to ultimately the ending of the Jackson 5, and kind of how he rose to fame in between. Somewhat. And this is a movie I didn't know if I was going to watch because like Michael Jackson, like I like his music. I've never really known much about him besides like some of the allegations. And then I kind of was just like, I kind of want to watch it. And I did. And I thought that it was a pretty good movie. And I can't wait for the second one, but at the same time, if the second one takes a little bit of a while to get out, I won't be mad because of what the second one's probably going to be talking about. So, obviously, this movie has been a little bit panned by people for being either not really a story or basically just being a greatest hits album. And to both of those accounts, I think that's kind of wrong because it has a clear story. The story is that Michael Jackson and his father obviously don't have a good relationship. His father was abusive and really only cared about the money and everything. And the whole story of the movie is basically Michael trying to get out from under his dad's thumb and kind of form his own fame and his own identity. And I think that the story was pretty good. And then the greatest hits thing, obviously it's recreating a good chunk of his songs because, I mean, it's kind of what you go to a biopic for, is to see some of his like famous songs recreated. But I think that they fit in really well. The first little bit of it with young Michael, I think is pretty good, but I think that the movie definitely does like step it up a bit once Jaafar Jackson comes in as Michael. But I think the whole movie, like even the little bit without Jaafar, is really fast paced. But then once Jaafar comes in, like I think that he does really good as Michael, and I just think it's really cool that he gets to play his uncle and kind of like I just like it how like out of everyone they could have picked, they picked his nephew, and I just really like that, and I think that Jafar like plays him really well. Like I think that he gets like the dance moves really good, the voice is really nice, both singing and not, and when they're singing, I heard like they had Jafar sing it, and then they kind of mixed in his vocals and Michael's vocals, and that's kind of a cool thing that they did. Coleman Domingo as the dad, I thought was fine. I think that the character is written better than I think Coleman Domingo like performs him. I'm just not like a big fan of Coleman Domingo as an actor, so like I was just like he was good in it, but I out of all the characters, like I didn't really care, and I didn't think he gave like this outstanding performance like I think Jafar probably did. And coming from someone who really didn't know much about Michael, as I said, besides some of his songs and then some of the allegations and stuff, I think that it does a really good job of kind of like giving you story and then showing you like these concerts and everything and kind of like weaving the two. I think it does a really good job at that. And the Jackson 5, like, I did not know that was Michael Jackson and his brothers, because obviously there's a song that they do that's in Guardians of the Galaxy, which they did recreate in this, which I thought was kind of cool, because I was like, Jackson 5, I was like, oh, that's them. I kind of hope they do this song, and then they did, and I was like, that's cool. But, so you learned something. And then when he starts recreating all the like performances, like when you see the Thriller music video, I thought that was really cool. When you get the Billie Jean performance, I thought that was really cool with the moonwalk and everything. And then you get a couple performances towards the end with him performing with the Jackson 5, and then in the middle of that tour, he's just like, this will be my final tour with them. This is like our farewell tour, because his dad was talking about how they're just going to do a bunch more, go to every continent and everything. So Michael's just like, yeah, I'm done. And that's kind of where the movie ends, plus a little epilogue, which the epilogue is just Michael Jackson performing the song Bad on the stage, and that was my favorite scene in the movie. Bad is probably my favorite song of Michael's, and just seeing that recreated was really cool. And it was probably my favorite scene. I like the side characters. Obviously, you've got the Jacksons in there, which I thought that obviously the dad probably had more depth than most of them. I think that the mom was done pretty well, where, like, for the most part, like, as when the dad is, like, kind of abusing them, like, she doesn't know what to do, and then later in the movie, she kind of sticks up to him and is like, you're done doing it, and then just kind of, like, she didn't have, like, a bunch more to do, but I thought that what she did have was fine. The brothers at the same, is, like, kind of the same thing. What they had to do, I thought was cool, but they didn't get much to do. You've got, Liz from Spider-Man Homecoming. I can't remember her last name. I think her first name is Laura in real life, but you've got her in here a little bit, and she was fine. She didn't really have like a big role or anything. Miles Teller ends up being in here, and I thought that he was really fun. Mike Myers is also in it, and I liked his character. And as a whole, like, the movie was just fun. That's what I took away from it, was that it was just fun. I liked seeing the music and everything, and it showed some of the history of Michael that I did not know, so I thought that was pretty cool. Also, he had a chimp named Bubbles. I did not know that either, and after watching the movie, I kind of want one, because it just seems cute. But the scene where he gets Bubbles, I thought was really well done, where the chimp just is like happy, and then they hug, and Michael gives this little line where he's like, because they're like, isn't that dangerous? And Michael's like, oh no, chimps are like really friendly unless they feel like threatened or anything by someone. And he kind of gives this look towards his dad, and is like kind of very clearly that he's just like he got the chimp because obviously he gets animals, like he has a giraffe, he has a llama, and he has a snake. Which I thought the snake was a bit weird, because I've heard that a lot of people who have snakes are either threatened or have been eaten by them. But he gets an animal because he likes getting animals, but at the same time, like, there was a little bit of it where he's just like, he kind of got it to protect himself a little bit more from his dad. And I thought that line was kind of cool. At least that's how I took it. I don't know if that's what it was meant to be. And then another big event that happens is the Pepsi commercial, where he's doing this Pepsi commercial, and then his hair catches on fire, and that's kind of what led to his death, is that after that, he started taking painkillers, and he kind of got addicted to them, and that's kind of what led to his death. And the way that scene comes about is, like, I took it almost as, like, a lesson, like, hate leads to suffering, or, like, suffering leads to hate, because how it comes about is, like, earlier in the movie, his dad is talking about how the Jackson 5 is like a brand, like Coca-Cola, and they have to start like a store or like selling stuff so that like another brand like Pepsi doesn't come along and like take it from them. And then obviously he does a Pepsi commercial, which I took as he's doing Pepsi because his dad like had them compared to Coca-Cola, so he's kind of doing this as another way to get back at his dad a little bit. So I took it as, like, suffering from his dad led to him kind of, like, hating him and doing this, which led to his death. Or, like, hate of his dad left to the suffering of the rest of his life. And, it kind of sucks that happened. Because everyone knows the backstory of Michael and all the stuff that he's been accused of doing. I don't know enough to say if it's true or not. I personally do not think that it is true. Some people do. I don't think it is. And I don't really want to get into it. That's what I have to say. I don't think it happened, but yeah. I wonder how they're going to handle it in the sequel. I'm betting the sequel probably won't be out until like 2029. At the very least. But as a movie, I thought that this one was a really good movie that had a pretty good story and was just a nice, easy watch. It's not one that I'll see myself rewatching a lot, but I can see myself rewatching it, like, especially when the sequel releases. I'll probably watch this again just to catch up. Not catch up in mustard, catch up on the story. Sorry, that was a really dumb joke. But I liked it, and I thought that what I wanted to see, which was mostly the music videos and then a story, I got, which it had a story that I thought was really good, and the people saying that there isn't a story, I really don't get. And then the recreations of it were pretty good as well. And as I said, my favorite scene was the final scene, him performing Bad. But that is my review of Michael. I do hope the second one's called Jackson. And yeah. That's about it. What if you've seen the movie? Tell me what you thought about the movie, and I will see you in the next one.